things that happen while you're sleeping that you're not aware of, like dimensional travel. So you go to sleep at night and you have a dream. Dreams normally come with messages. But if you are traveling to a parallel existence, in another dimension, you may remember some aspects of the dream, but there may even be times when you don't remember anything and it seems like a loop. You will do dimensional travel as a multiverse being, and you do have different parallel existences. You all have different like lives, and but you will have a soul tribe that will follow you in that lifetime. You will have people who you may have soul contracts or their family or their lineage that you may encounter within that lifetime. And you also have other contracts, like contracts that you made with deities that you've like sacrificed to, worshipped in different ways. Some people do it for protection. Some people do it for guidance for their ancestors, for themselves. Some people do it for just to have like some type of clarity, wanting to bring the information that they have forward, not realizing that you're going to do that anyway, especially when you are alive in a different dimension. But those are all things that can happen within that. So why do we dimensionally travel? We travel to other dimensions. So we travel to parallel dimensions, um, so that we can collectively, as a collective, like let's say that there's something that you do well, like you communicate well, but another version of yourself does not communicate well, and there is something that they need, a process that they need to go through, and that person, that version of you, needs to needs assistance. They need to get past the point because it is creating a stagnicity in the growth of your being as a whole. You may actually, in your sleeping state, do the work that needed to be done for that version of yourself so that y'all can move past that as quick as possible. Now, the part of that that you may not remember is the actual thing that you do, because it may seem like nothing, but in actuality, your presence and your ability to hold that space while you're doing that work is probably all you needed to do. You may not think you did anything, but sometimes a person standing in confidence is more potent and more well taken, better well taken than someone who stands in a lack of confidence. So when you have these, you reflect on these parallel existences. It may sometimes they may seem weird, like they do this looping thing, or where you start seeing the same thing happening over and over again in the dream, like your spirit team is trying to wake you up. That is just a signal to allow you to know that it's time to go. And then you wake up and you're like, what was that? If there's something that you're supposed to remember, then it will be brought to your remembrance. If it's not something that you're supposed to remember and it's just something that has been accumulated that your spirit team will implement at a later time, then it will happen. But you don't need to know everything that was taking place. So I'll give you an example. One time I had a dream where it was someone in my dream. I did not know the person, but I was collecting things for that person to be in like this, I don't know, this boxing match or something like that. And within my dimensional travel, my spirit team does not allow me to have any type of interactions. So I wasn't able to give that person the box. There was no, like, my spirit team doesn't normally allow me to like kiss a person, to have sex with a person, to to have like I can be like, a person will be talking to me, but I won't necessarily be the person giving information. And when something like that is happening that's completely different from my personality, I very like there's a part of me that knows that something is different. So when I wake up, that thing will linger in my mind, and I'll be like, well, what is that? And my spirit team will say, it's nothing that you need to be concerned about. You just needed to hold that space. And so with that being said, you working with your spirit team, whenever you have a spirit team that is working for you and not against you, because sometimes it seems like your spirit team can be working against you when you're not on the team, because not everybody knows they have a spirit team. So we're brought up in a society where we think we're supposed to do everything ourselves, when you got a whole team that's trying to help you out, and they're not gonna make you do nothing. But you could be working against yourself by not implementing your spirit team. And I don't care who's on your team, as long as your team is working for your highest good, like however that works. Your shadow self is a part of your spirit team. Your shadow self is everything that has been rejected by society. That most people look at the shadow and we think that it's something that we need to, like, you know, rebuke in some way, or that there's something wrong with it. True integration with your shadow means that those things, like everything about you, you've learned to embrace and you've learned to exercise in the most healthiest way. Like, you can, like, your shadow self can want you to fight somebody, but putting your hands on somebody might not be the thing that you need to do. But that doesn't mean you can't get justice with your words or with your actions. Like, literally, there are things that can be done integrating your shadow where your shadow works for you. Now, when you do interdimensional travel, your soul is what is traveling. Okay? As far as it's been explained to me, your soul is traveling. Okay? So your soul is doing the travel. Your spirit is present with both your body and also your soul traveling. It's not your whole soul. It's a good part of your soul. It's a very conscious part of your soul, that is traveling. And as far as like how you maneuver things, if you notice, most of the time, if you can see it from multiple views. You can see it like seeing yourself, or you can see it from a 3D view where you're seeing through the eyes of that version of yourself, which is normally how I see it. As I am that person, I am the one who is doing. So I never actually physically see myself unless I look at myself in the mirror, and I'll only catch a glimpse of myself, because to my spirit team, that is an exchange as well that leaves a fractal or a fraction of myself back in that dimensional plane. So early in this video, I said that my spirit team doesn't allow me to do things that are transactional. Seeing yourself in the mirror is transactional. It identifies you in that existence, that version of you in that moment, and that mirror encapsulates that fragment. Okay, you having sex with a person encapsulate a fragment of you. Kissing a person encapsulates you. Having some type of exchange where you give someone something, that leaves a fragment of you. And you literally can work with your spirit team, any deities that you're working with, and call in any words, thoughts, actions, intentions, and fractals or fractions of yourself back into your higher self to be cleansed, aligned, and redefined, so that you don't have to worry about leaving things that's not supposed to be there. So let's review. We are multidimensional beings, okay? We are also interdimensional beings, okay? And we are all connected, okay? By our core, we are all connected to each of the versions of ourselves in some way. And when you're doing any kinds of like protections or different things like that for yourself, you can fill all of those cords, plugs, and roots with source light. You can fill it with angelic fire. You can fill it with things that are going to keep the connection clean, so that you are able to function as yourself, your whole self, within this lifetime. I hope this helps someone.